Wait and come in at 93.
So ladies and gentlemen, fight number 9 this evening will be contested in the heavyweight division over 3 3-minute rounds. And introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 90.1 kilos and trains out of Game Bred Academy. Tonight he makes his MMA debut as part of the Season 5 Whip to Warrior cast. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Angus Hati. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 91.5 kilos and trains out of Game Bred Academy. Tonight he also makes his MMA debut as part of the Season 5 Whip to Warrior cast. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Neville, the Hunter Hearn. When your action begins, your referee in charge, Carl Anderson.
Okay, here we go. Some more big boys in the cage.
Well, very warm welcomes there from the crowd here at Mansfield Tavern for these two boys. Obviously got a lot of support here in the building and straight in on a single leg. Here is our fighter from the blue corner. Oh, sorry, from the red corner, I should say. Neville the Hunter Hearn.
Big uppercut on the break there. Hearn back in on the single.
So a little wrestling scramble here, and it looks like we've got our fighter in the red there, Neville the Hunter Hearn. Reverse back onto the cage, beautiful power double, but some great athleticism shown from Angus Hati to avoid at least the initial shot. But now he is forced onto the mat, and a beautiful butterfly sweep. Fantastic technical wrestling exchanges here going on between these two gentlemen.
He's not giving up on that takedown. He's chaining his takedowns together.
Standing guillotine attempts, and now into side control.
Knee on belly. We've asked for it a few times tonight.
The crowd is absolutely deafening in here at the Mansfield Tavern. Can barely hear anything.
Vicious ground and pound to the body here. Shin across the throat. And lets him up.
And a big roar there from the Hati supporters. So the man who hails from New Zealand goes for the body kick into the head and arm throw. Manages to get it as well. Now settling in top half guard.
Back to the body. Let's see if they can show off some of the jiu-jitsu they've learned in the Winter Warrior program.
Tell you what, the fighters aren't the only big boys in the cage. Look at the size of Carl Anderson.
He is a big man. Justin Van Heerden wanted to have a bench press competition with him. I don't think he'd win.
Interesting hurdler's mount here. Just moving, transitioning from side to side. He seems to want to stick with the ground and pound.
I'm really liking Angus's strategy as well. The positions he's taken, he's really freed up that torso, hasn't he, so he can land those strikes.
Yeah, doing a great job of making the body shots available here on the floor.
And he's throwing some massive power into those strikes as well. He's actually got Carl Anderson keeping a pretty clean, close eye on this action right now.
Hearn needs to go belly down, come up on a single, try and drive through and reverse this position. Here we go.
Right on cue there from the Hunter. So entertaining opening round there for fight number 9. Angus Hati likely will get the best of it on the judges' scorecards. Neville the Hunter Hearn perhaps showing a little bit of fatigue here as his corner tells him to keep those big, deep breaths coming in, because we've still got potentially 2 more rounds of this. And here we go. Both fighters clapped in for round 2. Push kick 2, overhand right there from Angus Hati. Some big shots landed against the fence. Cardio really looking like it's starting to leave. Neville the Hunter Hearn back on to the mat we go in now. Top half guard for Angus Hati. Underhooking the near side leg for Neville. But look at this beautiful knee on throat.
Hearn could come out the back here. He's on the right side to do that. That was a bit of a fence grab. I reckon they should. You don't really want to stand him up, but
yeah, Carl Anderson should have stood in there. He hinted at standing up, but right now, yeah, he has got a bit of an advantage right now.
There would have been a reversal maybe. He had the right idea by reaching for that deep knee. If he could pull that across his head, he could jump to the other side. Right now, he can't really do a lot escaping with the cage on that side from his half guard. So he's better off trying to go deep and come out the back door.
Let's see if Angus wants to create some space here and get the fight back standing.
Looked like there may have been a stray shot to the head there. Carl Anderson almost stepped in, but decided to give the fighter the benefit of the doubt. So the corner for Neville Hearn just pleading with their fighter to get back up to their feet. And like we've made mention of a couple of times here tonight, those body shots when you're running low on cardio are just absolutely torturous.
Yeah, we've seen some really impressive performances so far tonight, but in terms of making the most of the C-class rule set, Angus Hati. Although we see a reversal here, let's see what Neville Hearn can do on the top.
Hearn's in the turtle. He needs to turn in. He can't give Hati a direct shot at his back. He's back on the bottom here. And side control up against the cage in the gutter. Forearm
Seems to
in
be
the
putting
throat.
some pressure on that throat. I'm sure if he was able to put that 90 kilos of pressure on that throat, he might be able to force a tap there.
Yeah, some grimacing on the face there of Neville Hearn. Now some knees to the body.
Again, really impressive with the way that Angus has really made the most of these C-class rules.
He's got his arm trapped between his legs. It's a tough position for Hearn.
10-second clapper here as we head down the stretch of the second round. Big shots thrown to the body here from Angus Hati. And there we have Carl Anderson step in and close the show there for round two. Still 3 minutes left to go here in this heavyweight contest.
And it was a tough start to the round for Neville Hearn, wasn't he? He probably would have been looking forward to correcting the way that first round went, but unfortunately took a kick straight to the body in that second round, which probably would have made everything he heard in between rounds from his corner go straight out the door.
This is going to be a real test of his fortitude for Hearn. He's got to decide if this is for him.
Yes, so Neville the Hunter Hearn getting the motivational speech from his corner right now. You can see Christian Marino right in his ear, barking instructions with Dane Alkin.
Tell you what, the volume of the crowd is unbelievable at the moment, and it's coming from all angles. There'd be about 60 or 70 people up on the stage right now.
The atmosphere certainly is electric here in the Mansfield Tavern, of course. This venue is sacred ground for combat sports here in Queensland. Some phenomenal battles have gone down between these walls, and well, tonight we've seen some more big shots landed and the hip toss. Angus Hati back on top and now in mount. Let's see if it can work for perhaps a submission finish.
Looking for that armbar. Looks like he's setting up a triangle here as well.
It looks like it's deep.
Wow, this fight not going to go much longer.
I'd like to see him finish that triangle, and he needs to pull on his knee.
Sometimes that triangle can be tough with those shin pads though, Joel.
Carl Anderson looks to be close to finishing the fight. There's the tap.
There it is. Wow.
Phenomenal performance by Angus Hati.
You don't see that mounted triangle that often in MMA. That was good. I like the way he set that up. We thought he was going for the armbar, but the triangle was on. That's a good win for Angus Hati. Take nothing away from Neville Hearn though. He showed a lot of heart. He was coming second for a lot of that fight, and for him to stay in there as he did, he's got to take some positives away from this Winter Warrior experience.
Yeah, definitely. I know a lot of fighters would have looked for a way out a lot earlier.
Yeah, for sure. He could have taken an easy way out here, so all props to him. Hold your head up high. It sucks to lose in this situation.
So ladies and gentlemen, our referee has called a stop to this contest at 40 seconds of round number 3, declaring your winner by submission due to a mounted triangle choke in the blue corner, Angus Hati.